What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sax, aka the Black Shy Guy, and I'm back with another video for you guys. And this is an episode of Form and Analysis. Form and Analysis is where we take and analyze a composition and break it down to some of its tiniest forms in order to analyze the intentions of it. In this series, I'll be doing the same thing with recapping of different events, and in this case, E3 2015. I'm going to be doing all of the major Big Threes recaps in this one video. Then there'll be another video for the smaller third-party ones and I guess the PC one. I don't know. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So with E3 2015, with all the major press conferences from the Big Three done and over with, I decided I'm going to recap them and tell you what I thought about each of them. This is not going to be me completely going over everything in order. This is just going to be me recapping some of the so-called highlights that I found within the conferences. Just for ranking, if anybody wants to know what I thought was the best and worst E3, the best one was E3. The best one was E3. The best one was Microsoft. The second one was Sony. I think Sony was second, and then Nintendo wasn't even in third place. They were like, I don't know, they were 6 feet under somewhere. But we'll talk about that when we get there. So yeah, let's start with Microsoft. Microsoft had the best showing. However, Microsoft didn't interest me the most. Sony actually interested me the most, but Microsoft had the best showing and the most consistency between showing lots of gameplay and leaving out as much fluff as possible. The pacing was great. They kept showing game after game after game. They got people hype. Even if I wasn't interested in all the titles, I could understand the bombs that were dropped. So the main bombs that were dropped were the Rare Replay, the new game by Rare, Gears 4, I think, and Halo 5, and the backwards compatibility. They were the main bombs that were dropped during the whole presentation. And not only that, they kept it mainly relegated to first-party titles and first-party exclusives, which was pretty good on their part. For me, what really excited me most were some of the indie games and smaller games. Record was like a really hype game for me. I liked that. I like the art style. And it doesn't help that the developers of Metroid Prime, had something to do with the creation of that beast. So, I just hope later we get to see gameplay of the actual game and not just, a CG trailer. Tomb Raider was also a high point, like I told you guys before. I like the Tomb Raider series, and Jack Move got me, really just mainly kind of wanting to see Tomb Raider. And I like that the whole reveal they had or the whole actual piece of footage they had for that game. A lot of the indie titles I liked as well. Specifically one that I liked was the Cuphead game. I like the music from it, and I like the whole idea of it being from the 1930s and all that stuff. The only gripe I had with that is that the music wasn't 1930s swing jazz. It was actually like 1960 avant-garde jazz. But that's like the inner musician in me talking, and that's really something completely different for like another day. But I like that, and let me see if I can find it. And I liked what was it called? Beneath something. It was the game about the blind person. I can't find it. Oh, shout out to ShareTac, because I'm using their site to look at their live blogs from E3. So Nia's effing up. Nia, your site's messing up, man. It was another game about a blind chick. If I remember the game, I'll type it in like a little thingy, the little bubbles that go in there. You know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna type it in one of those. That was a game that kind of excited me because I liked the idea of it. It was something we weren't used to seeing. A game about a blind person. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a blind person, I'm gonna go kick some ass and some crazy shit. No, it was like a blind person you're trying to see through the eyes of a blind person. That's really a unique gameplay, and I would be excited. That would actually be like, I'm actually going to be upset if that's like an Xbox exclusive. I hope it makes its way to PC or something. So yeah, overall, while Microsoft held my attention the least, while they personally, appealed to me the least, I felt like they had the strongest showing and appealed to the most amount of gamers. So yeah, that was Microsoft, and that was my favorite. So yeah, next up is going to be Sony. Alright, so Sony is next. Sony, ironically being the middle of the three conferences, they held my attention in the middle. They held my attention a good amount, and they had more that appealed to me than Xbox. But I felt like they didn't keep to their ideals. Actually, what it looked like is Microsoft and Sony literally switched spots. So Sony came out guns a-blazing at first. You know, they had The Last Guardian shown, and you know that game we thought was vaporware at this point. And a lot of people criticized it for looking the same as the PS3 version. I haven't went and looked at gameplay or the trailer of the PS3 version, but I think the fact that it's still alive is a wonderful thing, and I think it's good, and I think people are really excited to see it. So they came out with guns a-blazing with with The Last Guardian, and they talked about the remaster of Final Fantasy VII, which I haven't played a Final Fantasy VII game. I think I played like the original SNES and NES one, but I haven't played 7, so I don't really know what the hype is behind that game. But everybody like was excited about it. Like that was a big bomb drop. So for me, what I was really most excited about was Uncharted. Surprisingly, and what's that one game? Horizon Zero Dawn. That game was like, I was like, oh wow. The game looks awesome, basically. I was happy that they finally showed No Man's Sky, but I don't know too much about that game. It looks awesome, but I feel like they have all these worlds, but they're not going to be really as great as they let on. I feel like a lot of them are going to be like boring as hell. Then you can be trying to find like the world that are actually good. So the main gripe I had about Sony was like the intermissions, all the little intermissions they had. Like they started off strong, and then they had the intermission. You know, they had to show crap about Call of Duty. Like they actually stole the limited, the time exclusivity of the DLC from Microsoft, and they went and they showed a pretty lengthy montage of Black Ops 3 and the multiplayer, and had Activision or Treyarch people on the stage and all that stuff, and I didn't really care. I understand why they did it, but I feel like it subtracted from what they really were trying to do and what they really should have done. I felt like it was a Microsoft show. Like they had it there, and they were there for a freaking longest time. I know Microsoft did the thing with the HoloLens, but with Microsoft, I felt like I couldn't remember like them really talking about HoloLens. I couldn't really remember them talking about Fallout. But like when I think about this, I think about like, oh, they show fucking Call of Duty, really. The same thing when they had the thing talking about Morpheus. And Morpheus is more forgettable in my mind, but the fact that they spent time on it, it's just kind of annoying. Just annoying to me. I think it's just annoying the fact that they did it. And when they talked about that stupid, that little streaming service, I was like, really? So when Microsoft did it, we were all like talking shit about Microsoft. And now like Sony did it, and it's cool. And that's what blew my mind. I was like, dang, Sony and Microsoft really switched places up with this E3. And that's really why I give Microsoft the like W, because they did something. Well, for the last 2 years, they've been doing just, we're going to show exclusive, we're going to show games. And Microsoft has seemed to have been subtracting from that, and doing the Microsoft thing where we're going to show games, then we're going to show some other shit, and then we're going to show something completely unrelated, then we can go back to games. Uncharted looked great. The Shenmue thing was the hypest thing, but I'm kind of slightly disappointed about the fact that they really decided to put up a Kickstarter for the game instead of fund it. Like, why didn't you just fund the game completely and just had it be right on PlayStation exclusive? I've never played the Shenmue series, so I don't really know what it's about. But people say it's good. Some people say it's overrated. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch some playthroughs or something. But it blew me that they decided to just, we're going to put the Kickstarter on it. And the Kickstarter reached 2 million by the time I woke up this morning. So, I mean, the game is funded. I don't know how far 2 million is going to go, but I think Sony should have just funded that game. But I knew that was a big bomb that they dropped for that, and along with Final Fantasy VII, and along with The Last Guardian. They showed some other games I was excited for. Let me go look through this live blog. Okay, I guess they didn't. I don't really remember. Maybe it was that Firewatch game, but they didn't show a picture. So they had a few other things that I think excited me, but it's kind of jogging my head right now. So yeah, I'm gonna just be done with that for now. And Sony did with my number 2 pick for E3. Last but not least, fucking Nintendo. Now, I came in. You've seen my previous video. I came in saying basically they want to show mainly stuff from, that it was planned to release this year. And usually when they have small releases or, not super huge releases, and they plan them so close until a time frame like this, I wasn't expecting them to really drop any bombs. And especially after what Sony and Microsoft showed, I didn't think Nintendo had it in them. But Nintendo already said, you know, they were showing games up until this year, and there wasn't going to be really that many unannounced Wii U games and stuff. But they did worse than that, actually. Unless you were a 3DS owner or a JRPG fan, you were disappointed in the Direct. And a lot of us were disappointed. I was disappointed. A lot of my friends were disappointed. The Direct was pretty bad overall. It was pretty bad overall, and it showed that they gave up on the Wii U. Like I was saying about Nintendo in the Wii U in my last video when I was talking about the Direct, it's easier to have a platform that's doing well and keep the momentum going. When you have a platform that's dead or dying or not doing well, it's harder to get that momentum off the ground. See PlayStation Vita, see the Dreamcast, you know, see the GameCube or the N64. Because they released two of their heaviest hitters on the Wii. They released Smash, they released Mario Kart, and that still did nothing for the platform, really. I mean, it boosted the sale a bit, but at the end of the day, it didn't do anything for the platform. So I don't think anything they could have done would bolster the Wii U sales. No, fuck anybody who's saying, oh, Metroid would have, you know, increase the Wii U sales, or F-Zero. No, it wouldn't. No. So I think that Nintendo made a smart decision by deciding to focus on the 3DS and kind of keeping the Wii U an afterthought, saying, you know, we still have games for it, but it's pretty much dead. We already said there's an NX in existence, you know, a new platform. So, yeah. Anything that we have in development for Wii U is, you know, that's currently going to be it. Some of it we haven't, you know, they're not going to talk about. The main takeaways from it was a release date for Xenoblade Chronicle X. Star Fox U was coming fall 16, and I think that was it for the Wii U side. That was really the main takeaways. And Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem looks less weeaboo-ish than we saw before, at least from what I remember, because I remember seeing like big ass dumb anime eyes and shit. It looks less weebish to me. You know, it looks more, a little bit more cooler in the play. So mostly but mostly the people who were watching it were expecting stuff for the Wii U. Now, most of the people who were watching E3 were people who either owned Wii U's or were trying to find a reason to buy a Wii U, or hated the Wii U and wanted to find a reason to diss the Wii U, which they got great reasons for that. So most of what they showed was, you know, Amiibo, Mario Maker, Yoshi Woolly World. All the 3DS got the 3DS got the fucking amazing shit. 3DS got Fire Emblem Fate. 3DS got another Animal Crossing game, actually legit one, not that trash that they put on the Wii U. 3DS got Zelda the Triforce Heroes, which I called that in a video. Hopefully I'll remember to put an excerpt here from a video that I did a while ago, last year or earlier this year, or last year, I don't remember, talking about they need to push the Four Sword thing, and they basically just rebirthed it into this Triforce Heroes game. They got a freaking Metroid, even though somebody called it spin-off trash, but I think it'll probably be good because I remember Metroid Hunters, Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS? People were saying that was good. So, Metroid something Force, Federation Force or something, and that's supposed to be, I guess, a little multiplayer tactical kind of thing. The Blast Ball thing from the NWC Nintendo World Championships was from that game. So hopefully we see more of that game, and it's not just Blast Ball. It's actually a good game. But it was the 3DS really just got the good stuff as far as I was concerned. The Wii U did talk more about some of the JRPGs in existence. So, you know, if you were into good JRPGs, the Wii U, of course, will not let you down. But everything else belongs to, you know, the 3DS, really. And that shows where Nintendo's priorities are. Their priorities are their money-making system, which is the 3DS. If the Wii was their money-making console, that's where they would be going to. So I feel like at this point, they're trying to finish up stuff that they have for the Wii U that they haven't released yet. Namely Zelda and, you know, maybe some other things that are in the work. That was third. Maybe some other things. But, and they're moving forward to the NX. But this E3 for them was a complete disaster for Wii U people. If you owned a 3DS, then it was less trash. It was much less trash. If you owned a 3DS, it was good. Like, the Wii U is Nintendo's Vita right now. They probably should just go ahead and call it a legacy platform and call it a day. That they, after, like, Zelda, they won't be supporting that shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if Zelda, the Zelda U or whatever we're calling it, whatever its name will be, I wouldn't be surprised if that title ends up being on the NX as well as the Wii U, or the Wii U as well as the NX, kind of like how Twilight Princess was. So yeah, don't get your hopes up for that though. I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, what would your so yeah, in terms of the actual E3, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and then as far as what interested me, it was really Nintendo's Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft. But yeah, that's what it is. I'm gonna go trade my Wii U for a 3DS now, and I'll go see you guys on the flip side. Tell me what you guys thought about E3. There'll be another video about the third-party conferences, maybe, if I just care enough to talk about them. If not, then I'll see you next video. Your boy Sax is out. Peace.